Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be exploring one question: how compatible are personal fulfillment and collective interest in the workplace?
Personal fulfillment is all the rage, due to the idea that happy employees perform better for their company.
So, it's worth asking, is the quest for personal fulfillment compatible with the collective interest? What's the story?
We won't call into question whether or not the quest for personal fulfillment is legitimate.
And we won't be criticizing the booming market that has arisen as a result. As always, there are serious, sincere players in this market as well as some unscrupulous ones.
What interests us is whether or not personal fulfillment and collective interest are compatible.
On the one hand, you've got growing expectations on the part of individuals who feel that have a right to feel fulfilled at work, so much so that it has become a central concern for many.
And on the other, there's the imperative for the company to succeed, which is, of course, the fruit of collective efforts.
The question people who hold a stake in a group must ask is actually pretty simple: which guides your decisions? Personal fulfillment or the success of the group you belong to?
Over the past several years, we've noticed a rise in individualism and the role of emotion to the detriment of reason, and sometimes even science.
So the problem that arises when, on the one hand, you see the effort required for the collective project is contrary to your fulfillment,
And on the other, you confuse well-being in the workplace and personal fulfillment.
we have a few non-judgmental remarks on this state of affairs.
1. This approach, which places your personal fulfillment above the collective interest, means that you do not think collective success can contribute to fulfillment for participants.
Or 2, you see the collective as being fake. After all, you're under pressure to ensure the short-term interests of a single stakeholder. They go on and on about this collective company project, but they never live up to it, so it's no surprise that you've become a mercenary.
Or maybe 3. Some people naively forget that all jobs come with constraints, whether we like it or not.
Individual fulfillment in a collective setting makes no sense if it totally disregards the collective interest, which amounts to exclusion.
Let's take, for example, a close friend of mine who worked in IT at a big, well-known company. He was surprised to see colleagues picking and choosing their projects depending on their interests rather than on situational constraints or company priorities, because the boss was always saying how important it was to enjoy your job.
Such behavior has consequences, like lower quality service, since things that need to be done aren't given priority.
Companies can't work like that. They're not summer camps where attendees can do as they please. Employees have to do what needs to be done, not because they enjoy it, but because it's their job, a job they're paid for, and because it's the contribution they must make to help the collective project succeed.
Has the company done what's necessary to ensure stakeholders see its project, purpose, mission, and goals as a shared, collective interest?
If it has, then the quest for personal fulfillment is compatible with the collective interest, because each member of the collective will have a guide for decision-making and will be able to find a balance.
If not, power struggles abound, and everyone puts themselves first. They see the company not as the subject but as the object of their personal interests. As a result, their question for personal fulfillment is rarely compatible with the interest of the collective as a whole.
To recap, the quest for personal fulfillment is compatible with the collective interest if and only if the collective interest is seen as such, as the common good. In this case, everyone will do what needs to be done before doing what they like. On the contrary, power struggles will reign if the collective is perceived as a mere illusion. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short.
Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.